Welcome back to Slothboxx. I'm Lyndon Dixon. This is the MMA show, and we're joined as usual by the main man, the co-host, Jack McGann, the soon-to-be British champion. How are you doing, mate?
Soon to be. Very good,
Soon to be,
thanks.
mate. It's coming. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, it's coming.
first one of the year.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been a little while since we've done one together because of shit that's just been going on. But I feel like there's so much to talk about. Firstly, I
Yeah,
want to talk about the so much is going on at the minute with Sean Strickland. Have you seen any of it?
I've seen little bits.
Mm.
I've seen little bits, and I know that he's a. Do you know what? When he won the title, must have been a couple of months ago now. I
Yeah.
was like, straight away, it was like UFC aren't gonna want him as a champ.
Mm.
Everyone said that. People like the UFC aren't gonna want him as a champion. He's too outspoken. He feels too strong about stuff. He's too open or whatever. He says what he sees and
Mhm.
and doesn't think business first. But I think it's actually turning people liking it because he is probably the most genuine person
Yeah.
um in 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 the UFC with a camera on. He just says what he thinks. He's not bothered what comes next. And I think it's like it's a bit different and it's good to see. So I love him. I if Um, if he says something, if you're on my hands, I'll be there listening. I love him, and also he can fight to back it up. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
And that's
I think he's a great champion, and you know Adesanya as the middleweight champ has been at the top of the game for so long. It's good for him to be in and be a complete curveball because if you would have asked anybody last year, do you think Sean Strickland's going to be the champion, the middleweight champ next year, and he's going to look like it's tracking to be a real pay per view star in big events,
mm.
you'd say no, no chance. So I am, yeah, I love him.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of things, with not just in MMA and the UFC, like all sports, most the majority of athletes these days are so like PR trained and ready for any question in any situation. Whereas Sean Strickland, I think that's what the problem is. It's you don't know what he's going to say. He doesn't care if it offends or if it's the right thing to say. And for me, that's like you said, it's the best part. He says what he thinks, he says how he feels. But recently, he went on the Theo Von podcast, and he was saying so much like out of out of the ordinary stuff that you just wouldn't hear nowadays. But speaking at the end, he spoke about like he was literally crying on the podcast, talking about those childhood memories growing up with being afraid of his dad and afraid that his dad might kill his mum and stuff like that. But then there's the whole thing that comes into that is he's fighting Dricus Duplessis in a few weeks, and that whole thing at the press conference with him saying that all those childhood memories are going to come flooding back when you're in the ring with me and when I'm beating you. And Sean Strickland said in that moment he wanted to kill him at the press
Yeah, I'm
conference, and
not
then
surprised.
that's why they had that scrap at ringside. I think a week or so after. But what do
Okay.
you think to the whole like that whole situation itself? Because for me, it's just mental. But as a fan at the same time, I now can't wait for the fight.
Yeah, I think what you've got is you've got first of all Strickland with them comments about. I've seen a few clips from that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the whole thing, but I've seen the comments he made about the child and whatever, and you can see why he's so messed up in a way because
Yeah,
he is
yeah,
he is a troubled person, and I think anyone can see that. And like he's talking about stuff he's seen when he was a kid, and I think they're the kind of things that shape you as a man and will give you sort of demons forever.
yeah.
What he carries, like imagine your dad like choking your mum and saying I'm gonna kill you, and you're hearing it in the other room and whatever. So and it sounded like it wasn't like a one off. It was all the time. So if that was his childhood for a couple of years, then that's like why he is the way he is. He's actually I'm surprised he turned out um I wouldn't say normal, but to be able to
Oh, I know what you mean.
to be as successful as he has, to just keep his head switched on in a way to get to the top of it, to get to the top of anything. Because really, with a child like that, you could end up being drinking every day and just your life just you're not bothered because you didn't have the best of starts.
Mm.
So I think there's that. That's how I look at that situation with him. But maybe all that shit is why he is the champion as well, because he's been through all that hard stuff, and getting through them tough times as a kid give him lessons for life as well, in a
Mm.
way. So for everybody else, it's good and bad, but um, I think as far as like what you've got with Duplessis and Strickland, I think when Duplessis made them comments, I until Duplessis beat Whittaker, I didn't know who Duplessis was. I wasn't watching him, I wasn't keeping track of him, I wasn't whatever. So I don't know if he's always had a mouth on him and he's
Yeah,
always said shit, but I think this is a case of he's them comments he made at the press conference talking about I'm all them childhood memories are gonna come flooding back and whatever. I think that's like a very prescripted thing he's come up with,
definitely, definitely.
and he's not realizing the implications of how deep and how fucking out of order it is.
Mm.
It's like look at the shit Colby got the other week for the comment about Leon's dad. This isn't far off that.
No,
Do you know what I mean? So I just think there's 100% a line and people are crossing it, and because of that now I hope Strickland wins any, but I hope Strickland batters him, smashes his
me
head
too.
and proper hurts him, because it's just not on. Because there's like, oh, okay, you can build like I'm not being funny. They could have built the fight easy. You're fighting Sean Strickland. You don't even have to do anything. He's gonna do it all. Do you know what I mean? There's just like, if that was me, obviously when he's sitting up, coming up with them lines and what he's going to say in the press conference to get a reaction, to get sound bites and whatever, surely he's going, that is if it was me, I'd be like, nah, I can't really go there. That's a bit too far.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just think it's fucking, I as a fighter as well, I just think it's, I get it, you build fights, but I think that there's definitely a line. I think people are starting to cross it more and more, and yeah, it's like, you know, what Colby done the other week, he was shite and got me the show off, and I hope the same happens here, and then
mm.
maybe people think twice.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Because like before you mentioned it, that was my next point. The shit that Kobe said about Leon's dad, and then that was all in the space of like 2 weeks, like that press conference, and then the Leon and Kobe press conference, and it's just like obviously Leon Edwards did the business on him, and thank God he did, because there was no way he was going to be allowed to get away with what he said. And I hope the
No,
same, like you say, goes on between Sean and Duplessis. But when you've said it perfectly clear, there is a line there. But how the fuck do we get people to stop crossing that line? Because what they both said was bang out of order and shouldn't ever be mentioned. But because it's the fight game and stuff like that, they think they can just say what they want and anything goes. But no, there is a line, and like I say,
I,
how do we get people to start seeing the line? Do you know what I mean?
well, I suppose it's what's that? Hang on. Did my camera go off then? Someone
No,
call
you're all
me.
good.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that like, um, I think that it's hard to say, because if you had everyone just up there going, you do need a bit of trash talk, you do need
Yeah,
a bit of whatever to build it. But if you add, um, if you just had everyone up there going, oh yeah, I can't wait to fight him, and it's just boring, and there'd be no big fight. So, like, with all that being said, this is tracking out to be a massive fight,
yeah,
and everyone's going to tune in, whatever. So I think that to draw that, me sitting here, I'm like, there is a line, like Molly, but I suppose it is the fight game, and it's hard to draw one because you're still going to get in and fight one another. But then we've seen stuff like when with McGregor and Habib, they had all that shit, and then after the fight, they had the fight in the cage. So I don't know. I think that I don't think you can fix it, because what are
mm,
you going to do? Tell people to stop building fights? Like
yeah,
it's like when Colby and Leon fighting the other week, and as soon as Leon made that comment, as soon as Colby made that comment, the pay per view went up by like 25%, which is
Jesus
massive.
Christ, yeah,
On that instant, in that instance, because they track pay per views off shares online and how many people are searching it and whatever, they know roughly what it's going to do. And
mm,
when they made that comment, Dana White said it went up 25%. So it's a bad look, but it's good for business because it's on everyone's lips now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um, so yeah, I think it's more of like morally there should be a line, but you'll probably never get one.
Yeah. How do you
Should I,
think?
should I go on?
How do you think the actual fight goes? Because it's literally it's in like 3 weeks' time, and I feel like that's the thing we're talking about it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about it. He did that podcast with Theo Von literally days after he had that scrap with him ringside, and that's just come out. So it's like fresh again, and it's really you said it. It's on everyone's lips. But do you think when things are like this personal and there's so much like I hate the word but beef? Do you feel like the tactics and shit and the preparation goes out the window a little bit?
Mm, that just comes down to the person.
Mm,
Like Leon was probably as good as he was, even though Colby was shit because he had to he had to win and he stuck to the game. But then you might get someone else who lets it get to them and whatever. So I think that just comes down to the individual. Do you know what I mean? But um, as well, it's not even that like even it's 3 weeks away or whatever, and you've got the press conference and everything before where the one on one and all that. So I think it'll be massive if people have already
definitely.
talking about it now. It's like Colby and Leon wasn't that big till that press conference. So God knows what's going to happen between now and then. But no, I think that definitely comes down to the individual
Mm,
as well. I think anyway.
yeah. Well, moving on from Sean Strickland and all that stuff, I want to talk a little bit about Masvidal because I think it was the 1st of January this year. He just tweeted unretired. Now, since he tweeted that, Jake Paul tweeted not long after, I think, saying that like, oh, he's going to be boxing Nate Diaz, but then he deleted that tweet because so people are now saying that Jake Paul leaked what Masvidal's going to do. But then since then, Ben Askren's been coming out saying he wants a rematch after he was finished in a few seconds. So,
Yeah,
first of all, what do you think of Masvidal supposedly is unretired?
not surprised.
Mm,
It happens every 5 minutes, doesn't it? Doesn't really mean much. How long has he been in the side for? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not really like I think if it's been a couple of years, like say GSP come out, like I'm on like when GSP done it, then he come back, that was big. But if
mm,
you've only been gone for like a year, it's not really. Some people don't fight for 2 years; they're not retired. So I think it was just a case of he's fed up and he's just been like, oh, I think maybe it's like let's say I got a bit further into my career and that fighting's done. I'm gonna stop. I think what happens is maybe you love competing and then maybe you're in the gym with some guys and you do well with me like, oh, hang on, I could go back here, or you could be
yeah.
skint, or you could be there's many reasons for it, but if it's only been a year, you're not retired, you're just tweeting, which is what he's done.
Mm. What do you think to
But
the fact that
I'm made up with that 'cause I love Masvidal, so I'm happy.
what do you think? You said you loved him. What do you think to him apparently boxing then? Because there's been apparently he's training at the minute, but he's just doing boxing training. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, Nate Diaz, is that something you'd want to see in a boxing ring?
Yeah, because either one of them, they're fighting, you're watching, and
Exactly.
they'd have a great build up and everything else. So yeah, I'd 100% watch that.
Do you think he returns to the octagon though? Because I think I saw something earlier that like his last 4 fights, I think he lose his last four?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So do you think it's a case of when he did retire, he didn't go out on the high that he probably deserved after his career. So do you think that's the thing? Maybe that was eating away at him to like come back.
Maybe, but it could be that. But like, you don't know. You could be getting offers thrown at him across the table every couple of months, and he's turning them down. And
Mm,
if the offers keep going up, and the right one comes along, it's hard to say no. And I imagine if he is fighting 80 years, that'll be a big offer, and it's one
yeah.
which we can't refuse.
I want to talk about someone else apparently coming out of retirement. I'm not sure he is retired. I don't know the situation, but Adesanya apparently he said he wasn't going to be. The UFC wouldn't see him again until 2027. Well, when Alex Pereira won a few months back, he said, I've got it here, he said, come to daddy after his win. And now Adesanya's posted a photo a few days ago and he looks massive in that photo. And people are thinking, is he coming back for UFC 300? What do you think he is?
Probably, probably, yeah. I think that it's just another one. It's like But
when
you're
an
just
offer's
fed
there
up, and
like that.
you know you just fed like how can you sit there
Yeah.
in your prime of your career when you're in your twilight years when maybe you haven't got that long left
Mm.
and sit there and go, I'm not coming back till then. So maybe just put that out to me like, all right, I feel like maybe that was a bit fucking dramatic. I'm gonna come back a bit sooner, or could be big offers that you don't know. But um, when he said like when he said I'm retired, you're not going to see me till 27. I straight away was like, well, we are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It might be. I'd have 25, maybe
Mm.
not 26 at all, or onwards.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too long. You're not going to shelf yourself for that long.
Exactly. And in
Um,
2027,
so,
he's going to be 38. So what what
exactly.
sort of
So
fighter is going to
it's
come
just
back
that's what.
then? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that UFC 300 I think's meant to be in March or late March or early April.
Hmm.
So they're gonna have to start getting something together for it. You know what I mean?
Mm. I'm surprised that it's been like left this long because there hasn't really been
Well,
too much said about it.
I think well, there's been a couple of fights that have been announced for it,
Mm.
but not a
Nothing
major.
massive. Yeah.
Yeah, not a major. But yeah, we'll have to see. But it's just when fighters say the side, I'm not. They
Mm.
always come back.
Well, the last thing, and I just want to talk about maybe Adesanya returning. Who would you like to see him in there with? Because obviously you got Strickland fighting in a few weeks now. There's not. Do you think he could make April? Like, do you think he would do that? Because I'd love to see the rematch.
Um, Comes down to money, doesn't it? Like if
Yeah,
they turn around
exactly.
and go, you could do if they turn around and go, look at UFC 300, you're gonna get twice as much as you usually would, which is already a significant amount. Then you're gonna. It depends where you're at, doesn't it? But yeah, I think the fight for Adesanya to come back, I'd rather see him fight. Um, I'd rather see him fight Strickland again than Pereira at another weight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Why?
And
What?
then I think
Why would
just
you
just
rather see
because
that?
I've just seen it, and I think that he's not a big middleweight. He's big, but he's quite slim. He's not. He's a big man, obviously, but he's usually not the biggest
Yeah.
fighter when he's not the biggest person in the ring when they're fighting. Um, even though he deals with it well, and I think that going up to light heavy, you just giving yourself more problems.
Mm.
So I just think that like, and then once you're there, you're there. Then do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting that weight on and everything could you might not get it off.
True.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
mate,
So
I think we're going to leave it there. It's been a good one, a good first of the year. Plenty more to come. I've been Lyndon Dixon. He's been Jack McGann, and we'll see you on the next one.